Do you feel like your examiners are giving you the cold shoulder? Perhaps you've lost some weight along the way. Hi, and welcome to the Law Simplified. I'm Shavin Bandaranaike. Oftentimes on this very YouTube channel, as well as the different platforms the Law Simplified is disseminated on, and for most of my fast track and masterclass students, as I've mentioned ad nauseum on a number of occasions, arguments are key in order to elevate your responses from a pass to an ace. Now, during several instances, quite recently, you can check through the links in the description below or the card that will pop up above me, I have advocated for trying to incorporate and articulate responses in a manner that indicates to an examiner much more about how you think about a scenario than what you know about the law. Apart from understanding how to apply the law, looking at the principles and then gauging how best to articulate your responses, sometimes what is required from an examiner's standpoint is that you have weight to your argument. There's often a concept that I have proliferated known as the snowball effect. Essentially, the snowball effect is about building smaller arguments over time in your response so as to create the final argument that seals the deal, so to speak. In order to do this, you need to look at a scenario both holistically and granularly. You need to look at fundamentally what the end result or what the direction of the question requires, whether it is to advise someone on a particular outcome that is more beneficial for them, or whether it is more academic and discuss oriented. Then you need to be more granular and filter those broader holistic arguments into more bite-sized pieces to determine how best it can direct your response. Accumulation of arguments and accumulation of concepts and principles along the way, whilst having in mind the broader scheme or the bigger picture, is what you need to show an examiner. This is what the snowball effect is all about. Building over time smaller arguments till it rolls over into a much larger point that you are trying to make to an examiner. Now, most students tend to forget doing this and they look at it in a much more disparate or separate context. What I mean by that is oftentimes when I read my fast track and masterclass students' responses to provide feedback reports, what I do note is that there are some brilliant arguments but disjointed, or relatively weaker arguments scattered across the board. What must always be noted that it is in fact a symphony of arguments. They need to work well with one another, and holistically or overall, it needs to make sense to an examiner that you know the bigger picture and you have accumulated these arguments over time, and it is by and large a strategized response. If you'd like to find out more on how you can break down questions and create arguments that are not only worthwhile, but indicate to an examiner that you know exactly what you're talking about, have a look at the online law school platform, which is not only complete with theory lessons based on the actual one-on-ones that I've conducted with my fast track and masterclass students, but also tutorials and workshops, which provide you with a broad-based understanding, depending on the subject that you want to tackle a question in, how exactly to bring arguments into the picture. But having said that, until the next time that we meet, have fun, stay safe, and as always, obey the law.